Hello, my baby. Hello, my doll. I'll chat with Lister as far as the fall because this podcast is made for love. Welcome to Super Cast Brothers. I'm Jonno, otherwise known as Jonathan.
I think you forgot the line "Hello, my ragtime doll." But yeah, Zantok, Lister, you know the deal. Who else would be here? It's just him and me. Oh God, it's
Yeah,
him and me again.
it's him and me
Why?
again. It's me and him and me
Will
and him
somebody
and
send
him and me.
help?
We've had help
I,
a few times with some lovely
I'm in a
guests.
state of
Maybe in the
emergency
future.
right now, and there's no toilet paper, and I need help. No joke. We were down to 3 rolls yesterday. Went to the store. There ain't nothing there.
you know, we are living in pretty dire times. When we look back on this COVID-19 era, in history, it'll be rather interesting. We'll be having our flesh burning off, saying, hey, that was pretty tame compared to now. But for the time being, it's just kind of volatile
A little bit.
and sad. We've had there's a
Very.
lot of things being canceled and a lot of
I wish you were canceled.
things being well, if I were canceled, that means the podcast were canceled. That's one way
Yes.
to take it anyway. Whoa. You got a lot more free time for Select Start Gaming now, don't you?
Oh, that's also canceled.
Oh, what are you going to do with the rest of your life?
Sleep.
Are you gonna dedicate yourself to writing a memoir about our friendship?
Funny jokes. Funny jokes. It's a lot better than that joke of an assist stripper you came up with.
Which one was that? Do we want to go back and roll over that?
No,
Was it Bob and Bob?
we don't want to mention it ever again.
Okay, I thought Bob and Bob was pretty
If
good.
I could, I would edit it out of that episode. But I do not have that power. Fuck.
You technically do, but
I mean, it's already uploaded, so no, I don't.
all right. And if you want to check that out, just check out the previous episode, episode 14, Smashtopia, a Sister of the Extravaganza. That was good times,
Mostly.
mostly. Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, in the in the meantime, we have another Smasher Dash. How about that?
How about you smash and I just dash away? Like,
That could be taken in a lot
bye.
of ways. That could be
I
taken.
know.
Yeah.
I'm running away. I'm leaving you
With that,
behind in this toilet paperless wasteland. Have
who
fun
takes
with the
toilet
poison
paper?
sumac leaves.
Okay, I sure will. I live in Arizona. There's a lot of cacti I can use. Can I just say that if you are buying 300 rolls of toilet paper
You're a
and
fucking idiot and you deserve to burn in hell.
that too, and if you legitimately need them, you had a problem a long time before the coronavirus.
Yes.
So, good times. The coronavirus is bad. It's not the plague. It's not civil war. Why are people crazy?
Social media.
Maybe because, yeah, pretty much. But social media is also what keeps us with tens of viewers.
Tins? You mean
Tens.
twos?
No, Maurice Lamstra just joined our Facebook page last night.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but welcome.
Neither do I. I mean, it's a good thing, isn't it? Just
Yes,
having
actually, it
fans
is.
come out of nowhere. So that's pretty good. I mean, I'm glad
You're
we're
more than
growing.
welcome to make comments on this video as well and call us out for being dicks.
Oh, man.
Specifically
That might
him.
keep him around longer. Yeah. If you want to do that, I refer to you. I
I mean,
refer you
hey,
to the
hey,
sister of the
you know you've
extravaganza.
made it. You know you've made it in life when you have trolls.
That's true. Now, you may recall we had trolls as far back as
Oh, I know you're a
probably
troll.
2008. Oh, yeah. I was a troll back in the day. The things that I did on
Was
GameSpot forums when I was 12 years old, those are good
the
times.
things you did on Mercurius forums when you were 12 years old?
Well, there was worse on Mercurius at the very least.
Comrade, let's
Yeah,
remake
exactly.
Dynasty Warriors moveset for you. Yes. I shall
Oh
make all
man.
the characters. Yes.
Yeah, and that's this Smash
Okay.
Dash episode. Is every character from Dynasty Warriors.
Versus Goku.
So versus Goku.
I vote for
Some
every
Goku.
Dynasty character. Fuck. Whatever they're called, I vote for them.
Every character from the soap opera Dynasty?
Yes.
Or are we talking or the reboot? That's on the
Also,
CW.
the
That sucks.
bullshit Voldemort's daughter from the stupid Harry Potter cursed child. That makes no sense, and they broke all the time travel rules that were already established. Yeah, I'm calling that shit out. I'll take
So you
Goku
want
over
the
that. I'll take
well,
Goku and Smash over Cursed Child existing. Let me start with that one right there. Yeah, I'll fucking
you
get
know what?
controversial over here. I don't give a fuck. It is
One of
11
these
p.m. at
days.
night. I give no shits.
I
Which is also a good thing because,
thought it
again, I
was
have no toilet paper. So, there you go.
wow,
Hey,
coming full circle, huh? Oh man.
I have
Just imagine
jokes.
Voldemort and what had to happen for him to have a child.
Yeah, supposedly it's something about, oh, must make sure my legacy can't start. It's like, this is the guy that doesn't believe that he's going to die because he has all the Horcruxes and they're going to keep him around forever. Why does he need to have a kid to extend his legacy? This makes no fucking sense. No, fuck you and fuck the bullshit you wrote up on.
Are we talking about Voldemort here?
I'm talking about the writers of Cursed Child.
I was going to say because Voldemort,
And I
the
use
whole
the
"fuck
word
you" thing. I
writers
mean,
very loosely.
because it's a script, yeah.
Well, I mean more mean because it just sucks. I read
Oh,
fan fiction
okay.
better than that shit.
Did he write fan fiction about that? We can start.
I have not, but isn't hasn't that been on our agenda for agen- I don't know my words tonight. Hasn't that been on our agenda ever since Super Cast Brothers started? We are going to do that Smash Brothers story. Where'd that go?
Yeah, but into the into the wherever those children from Fates go.
Oh,
Yeah, it
I
went to that
thought we
astral
didn't
plane.
invoke fates here. I thought this was a fate safe space.
That's true, but that's why we need to rescue Smash Fiction from that realm. And one of these days we will. I'm not going to say we're not going to do it.
Smasher
But
Dash.
at least
Siegbert versus Dwyer. Go.
Dorcas.
It's Dwyer. Come on. Of
Okay.
the two of them, it's got to be Dwyer.
So
Siegbert is like a limp noodle.
well, some of our closest
Dwyer's
friends are
funny.
Lip Noodles,
That's true. Also, the
including
real
some of you
answer
listening to
is
this podcast.
Ophelia.
Oh well, yeah, she doesn't suck.
She's like one of the few.
Yep, one of the few.
I think we've gotten a little
The
bit
other
off
one,
topic though, which is funny because that's not our episode today.
no, actually, is there too much Fire Emblem and Super Smash Brothers podcasts? The answer may surprise you. Okay, we're actually talking about another RPG franchise of Nintendo's a little bit later, but this
We are.
Smasher Dash episode, yeah,
I didn't know Nintendo had
this
Final Fantasy.
you may be surprised. It might be Hironobu Sakaguchi who's going to be chosen,
My God.
but our pairings this time. Let's dig into it. It's for starters, two characters that I would say we chose because they can be how
Echoes.
do you say echoes? Yep, yep. And a little later on in the broadcast, we're going to go into three Pokemon,
Leafy Boys.
three Leafy Boys, three grass starter Pokemon, which we inexplicably do not have in Smash as playable characters yet,
Somehow.
somehow. But thank goodness we have Incineroar, and we're about to get Wooloo, so I'm happy for that too.
I mean, no, Wooloo's a spirit. We can't get Wooloo.
Ah, damn it. Okay,
We can get
well,
Bidoof.
I'm okay with that. Let's go for it.
I am not.
Okay, so I guess without much more teasing, we should announce our first pairing.
Indeed, we should. So we have two characters that would make very easy Echo Fighters for the future of Smash Brothers. One of them has already been in an alternate costume twice, and that is Alph from Pikmin 3. His opponent, Black Shadow, a well talked about character both between us and the general Smash community from the F-Zero games. Some people say,
Yeah,
hey, introduce Black Shadow and he can take over Ganondorf's old moveset and then give Ganondorf a new one. I mean, I'm
yeah,
on board with that. However, is that going to be how we're discussing him today? I don't know. We'll find out.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Black Shadow, though. I mean, otherwise in the F Zero scape, He was conceived in F-Zero X in 1998 on the Nintendo 64.
Wait, he was
My personal
conceived
favorite.
in F-Zero X? What the
Yes.
fuck?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and he was a playable racer as a new as a not even
Yeah.
born baby.
Yes.
What the shit?
F-Zero gets weird, man.
This is some bio miracle. What the fuck? Level of nonsense.
Yeah, Bio Miracle Bokute Black Shadow. Uh
Oof.
yeah. So he's as they say on the F-Zero fandom wiki, he's the cold-blooded king of evil, feared by all. So there you go. This is another good move for the potential whole Ganondorf thing. Anyway, he's not much is really known about Black Shadow outright in the games. They're racing games, and F-Zero GX introduced a little bit of a meager story mode, but mostly it's Captain Falcon's a bounty hunter. Black Shadow is a very
He's a criminal.
top level criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and whenever Black Shadow is part of a race, you can expect him to get into some crazy shit. Like he will
Ram me off the
cheat
track.
and he will ram you off the track. He'll cause explosions. He will do whatever he can to win and to basically hunt down Captain Falcon is his number one mission in the races. Because Captain Falcon is able to capture all of the people that work for Black Shadow under him often. And that makes Black Shadow mad. So therefore they're nemesis. And otherwise Black Shadow is basically almost a caricature of evil. Like he is just shown to be an extremely cold and cruel villain who is a crime boss. And he only really cares about people if they serve a purpose to him. So in a sense, he's a sociopath in a sense. Um, and then he appears in the anime some, and I wish I could tell you more about it, but I don't remember the anime that much. It was kind of entertaining though, that era when we had all of those different video game shows at once. Anyway,
It's definitely not a video game that I would have expected them to make a show out of. It's like, hey, look, we got a racing game about a bounty hunter, but he doesn't bounty hunt, he just races. We can make a show out of this. Uh, okay? Sure.
yeah. Oh, and if
Absolutely.
whoops, if it means anything, his machine is named the Black Bull. Yeah, we're not gonna go there.
And he also works for Deathborn.
That's also true. Yes.
You think he's the big bad villain? No. It's Deathborn. What is Deathborn? I don't know. He's
Hmm.
some kind of robotic fucker or something. I don't know. He's not the
He,
subject of the episode, so we really don't give a shit about Deathborn.
yeah. I mean, he does things that are pertinent to the plot of F-Zero GX, and that's about Deathborn as we need to go.
Yep. So, Black Shadow's opponent in this Smash Dash is none other than the very young Alph. So, Pikmin 1 and 2, they both star Captain Olimar in the leading role. He's crash lands on a planet, or in the case of 2, intentionally lands there. Uses Pikmin 2 to fight some mysterious beasts, and either brings back, like, missing ship pieces or treasure to be sold. The second game introduced a partner for him in the form of Louis, and then the third game, that's not Olimar. That's not the SS Dolphin. Who the hell are these three? Instead, they gave us Alph, Brittany, and Charlie, which was the engineer, botanist, and captain of the ship. You would think, oh hey, since we had Captain Olimar, we'll be playing as Captain Charlie. Well, I mean, technically you're right, but if there's a main character to the game, it's actually more like Alph. They don't really have a main character necessarily, but he's
It's who you start with.
it's who you start with, and also all the three characters' names come from Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. So the first one kind of just
Hmm.
makes sense that he's the leader. Well, not the leader, but again the main character of the game. He's
Hmm.
also the closest to Olimar's bodily proportions, which is why he was made a alternate costume in Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate. There's really nothing much to him other than the fact that he's an engineer. He helps repair the ship and command Pikmin. All three of the characters that can do that. So that's something nice that they all have to them.
Hmm.
He's fairly basic of a character. They all have a little bit of personality, but it's not necessarily a whole lot. And as
Hmm.
for like capabilities, I mean, just like Olimar, picks up Pikmin, throws Pikmin, punches
And
things.
he, yeah, and he's like as small as a quarter,
Oh, smaller.
even
Way
smaller. And
smaller.
and he
The
he
characters
likes
in the Pikmin games are minuscule.
true.
I would not be
And does he
surprised if the human eye couldn't see them.
that's too bad. I want to feel more in touch with my Pikmin side.
Why are you like this?
I feel like a pink Pikmin.
Right.
Alph also likes freeform jazz. I thought that was an interesting tidbit from his wiki page.
Okay.
Yeah, get a little Miles Davis going. He's going to start dancing.
Well,
I think
his
Black Shadow would
grandfather
never
is
dance.
named Drake, and his grandfather also built their ship, the SS Drake.
Wow,
And he's allergic to mangoes and avocados. I guess
really?
he's not. He must not be a very good millennial because he's not going to be eating that avocado toast.
No, if you're allergic to mango and avocado, you pretty much revoke your license as a Californian.
That's a shame. Good thing I'm not in California because I would probably would not ever eat avocado.
California. Okay.
Also, it says here that his height is approximately 1.6 centimeters.
Wow. I wonder what else comes out to that measurement.
I don't know, and I'm not looking up at this moment in time.
Okay, pretty interesting. Now that we have some fun facts about Alf that may or may not factor into how we proceed with this first pairing,
Sure.
um, I guess let's just get into the meat and potatoes of the thing. There's Black Shadow, there's Alf. Who we gonna pick?
So the funny thing is, I've actually made both of these characters on Smashtopia.
True.
I actually forgot about that until like just now because I was thinking this is like, oh yeah, I made moveset for Alph, and I was trying to think of like how could he be different from Olimar. I was like, oh shit, I made Black Shadow too. Oh fuck, I forgot I did that. That was the very first submission I put on the site.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was intentionally on there designed to be a clone. I went into that intentionally, kind of feeling with the whole mindset of, hey, let's base him more off of Ganondorf. He's going to be a slower, more. How do I put this? He hits harder than what Captain Falcon would, but in a more focused way. Whereas Captain
Mm-hmm.
Falcon's just like, I knee you, I punch you with Falcon Fist. Black Shadow's one was like, I'm gonna fucking beat you into the ground.
mm-hmm. That's something that you and him can relate on
Mm-hmm.
as a when putting me in view.
No.
Okay, good.
And then Alpha, I pretty much just took Olimar's Smash 4, or, yeah, his Smash 4 moveset at the time. I'm not looking at it, but I think I kept that intact, and I gave Alph some of his old moves from Brawl that he doesn't have anymore, like the Pikmin chain. Actually, that's a lie. I gave Pikmin chain back to Olimar, and I have Alph take over the Wing Pikmin. Because the Wing Pikmin are from his game, it just makes more sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, I really
And then
like
what?
using Pikmin chain and Brawl. That was one of my favorite moves for Olimar to use.
Yeah, me too. It was a fun bridge. We can build it and return to platforms together.
It is a lot better than either of Joker or Bylif's grappling moves that they have for their up special. Those two moves suck. Pikmin Chain was great.
Yep, absolutely. And shoot, maybe there's even more ways to make Pikmin Chain more utilitarian in a coming Smash by having it pull down on opponents or something. I don't know, but
I
either
don't know.
way, it factors into it. You want to bring the chain back. Custom moves are gone. That's a factor for Alf. That's kind of maybe a point for him that
Absolutely.
you have that extra move from the past that people generally loved back. Uh, Also, as far as Alf goes, it's just the whole indignity of having a character be an alternate costume in
Twice.
Alf's case twice in a row. The Koopalings, that's one thing. That makes sense. Alf is totally his own character, totally from his own game. There's really nothing that connects him and Olimar in the same way Bowser Jr. is connected to the Koopalings. It's
Right.
like, what on earth is happening?
I agree.
That and Chrom being in Robin's Final Smash Jill are my two big pet peeves about Smash Ultimate.
Yeah. Like, I understand that for Smash 4, there were originally going to be four alternate costume characters: Alph, Lucina, Dr. Mario, and Dark Pit. And they decided,
Mm-hmm.
oh, hey, look, we've got time to make three of these into actual characters. And I understand they picked the other three and they didn't choose Alph. I get it. I don't have a problem with that. Ultimate is where I have a problem with it, where they create, oh, hey, look, we're doing this whole Echo character concept thing. It's perfect for what those alternate costumes we just had were. So we're gonna have Lucina and Dark Pit. It'd be Echo Fighters, but we're gonna have Alph still be an alternate costume, and then bring in Chrom instead. What the fuck?
I know.
No, no, fuck you. Chrom's not
Yep.
even cool.
Ooh, I think everyone agrees with that actually.
That's not true. Chrom is popular. I don't.
Where?
In the Fire Emblem fan base, have you not been paying attention?
I guess he's better than some other characters, but he's
Look,
also not very interesting.
it's like I've played Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Chrom was okay.
Milk toast.
Personally, for me, if Awakening has to have two playable characters in Smash, obviously Robin is one of them. The second one, I mean, I guess if it has to be one of the main characters, Lucina. I don't pick Chrom. I don't pick Chrom. Lucina is a lot more interesting than Chrom is. Chrom is your
That's true.
standard Prince boy. Lucina is, hey, I came from the future. Shit is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
There's some interestingness
Now,
there. Chrom, not so much.
Walhart should be there.
Not the Great Big Lobster. No, no, no,
Okay, I
no,
thought that was me.
no.
Okay. Well, we can return to that later. Is there too much Fire Emblem in the Super Smash Bros. Podcasts?
Why are you doing that?
Anyway, going back to an old joke. Uh,
It's not even an old joke. You've said it twice in this podcast and never before. That's not an old
yeah,
joke. That's
I
you trying to
know.
make something into a thing.
It was an old joke 30 minutes ago.
Jesus Christ. We haven't even been going
Um,
30 minutes.
really?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
Any
I was kind of wondering.
ways ignoring your dumbass.
Oh yeah, Black Shadow. There's a guy whose shadow is black,
And he's dressed like a
and
bull.
he's
Kind
dressed
of.
like a bull, and he has a
It's more
black
like a
bull
skin suit,
car.
latex uniform with two big old horns on the side of his head.
Yeah, he's Black Shadow. That outfit would probably be well renowned in certain cult circles if he
He
became a
looks like a
popular character.
90s comic book villain.
That's also true. A lot of F-Zero characters look like they can cross over into some like fucking like Mr. Freeze
I mean, you have the Skull,
was
you
it?
have Phoenix, you have Mr. and Mrs. Arrow, Zoda.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of them look like comic book villains.
Which one was it? Batman Forever, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait,
That was
hold
that
on.
was
Are
a
you
good
talking about.
time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Batman Forever was the third one, I want to say. Then it was Batman and Robin was after that.
Okay. Okay.
Batman and Robin was the one with. Fuck. Trying to remember. Shit.
I'm I'm thinking about the one with Michael Keaton. Yeah, it wasn't Forever.
Yeah, I don't know which ones had which Batman. I do not know that.
Okay.
I just know the
Okay.
villains.
Oh no, George Clooney. I'm
Sure.
glad we're on this subject.
Why
George
are we
Clooney
talking
was
about Batman movies again?
Danny DeVito was the
I
Penguin.
don't watch that one.
Uh,
Nope. We
yep,
don't. We do not talk
yep.
about the Penguin. We do not.
So F-Zero characters look a lot like that era of Batman movies.
Sure. Any fucking ways. We got Alph. We got Black Shadow. What's interesting about them? Honestly, not much. I'll fucking say
No,
it.
no,
Not
not
much.
not much. No,
It's
the
like,
characters are both boring,
yeah. It's like, I
and
will
yeah.
never be excited for either of these characters to join Smash. Unless Black Shadow's getting in purely because Ganondorf's getting his own moveset. Then, okay, sure, I'll get excited for that. But otherwise, I
Hmm.
mean, both these characters to me are, hey, if they have open slots for Echoes, you both are fitting. I'd be okay with you joining as Echoes. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. To quote Kendrick Lamar, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but I'm just gonna move past it.
Okay, moving on. Black Shadow would be a stronger, more intentful Captain Falcon, essentially. I'm sure there's some other things that he could potentially do if you were to make him a semi-clone or a pseudo-clone, but for the most part, Black Shadow exists as an embodiment of evil. He's a boring character who is just the antagonist of F-Zero.
Yeah. Well,
He
while
would.
F Zero has a literal evil clone of Captain Falcon, Blood Falcon, Black Shadow is more
Mhm.
like the antithesis of Captain Falcon. He is supposed to be similar, but the opposite.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
villainous,
exactly.
his villainous counterpart.
Hmm. That's also true. And then Alph is basically the sub for Olimar in Pikmin 3 because Olimar is too busy being,
A
kidnapped.
mother.
That too, yeah. So, and Alpha introduces other types of Pikmin forms you could incorporate into the moveset. I'm wondering where Rock Pikmin were in Ultimate. So
Yeah.
there's that to work with.
So if I remember correctly, they considered having Rock Pikmin be in Smash Four, but they were just like, eh. Honestly, what they should have just done is okay. If you're playing as Alph, we're reskinning Rock Pikmin over Purple Pikmin. Done deal. There. You don't got to do
Agreed.
anything else. Of course, then we still have the
Agreed.
White Pikmin, and that's kind of weird, but whatever.
Hmm. And then another move that I was thinking of, you have a Pikmin chain.
Yes.
If you wanted to differentiate someone like Alpha, you can have him have the Pikmin go into chain formation, except then use it in a spinning tornado attack where
It
you move
sounds
from
like.
side to side.
Are you sure you're not just talking about Wonderful 101?
Maybe,
Because that sounds like
actually,
a Wonderful 101 thing.
maybe it can be. I'm not sure. I've never played much of Wonderful 101
Yet you
to answer
love to
that
talk about it years ago,
because I thought it would be great for Smash inclusion.
despite having never played more than 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And how about you? How much have you played?
I played the demo.
Yeah, me too.
Although I will say, I am not immune to buying and playing a game purely to research if it's good for Smash. Hello, Astral
Yeah,
Chain. How's it
exactly.
going?
Exactly.
Not
Hmm.
a bad game, though. Not a bad game. The
No,
story was
no.
not great, though. It was kind of basic. But whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Um,
back to Alpha and Black Shadow again.
mhm. So, Black Shadow. Um, the only kind of thing that I can think of that could be another move for him, and maybe it would be like a side smash or something, or a side special. I don't know. Or actually even a standard special in replacement of something like the Falcon Punch. You can have him use the horns on his head to impale opponents instead.
I'm pretty sure for me, I just made it be Falcon Punch, but it came out with a bull instead. And it was like
Oh, I
dark
like that.
magic.
Bowl Punch.
I don't. No, I didn't call it that.
Bowl of
I'm
Punch.
trying to remember. I'm gonna look up and see what I can try and find it.
All
So I
right.
did not call it Bull Punch. I can tell you that fucking much right fucking now.
What if?
Instead, I actually called it Shadow Dash
Aha. There you go. Good
because
old Shadow
it's
Dash.
okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Shadow Dash. Black Shadow will wind up a fist and then dash forward a short distance as he unleashes the energy of his punch, hitting anyone in the way for a strong amount of damage. And instead of being a fiery falcon, it looks like a dark bull. Shadow dashing forward instead of like standing still and punching, he charges forward like a bull and then punches you.
Nice.
So
That's a
maybe
good. That's
maybe
a good
that
one.
could actually be altered, like you were saying to where he's charging at you with his horns, and that would make more sense.
Yeah, it could potentially.
Yeah.
I just know a horny guy like him needs to get around.
Why are you like this?
He has horns on his helmet,
Okay.
and he could incorporate them into his moves.
Yeah.
He can smash up his opponents with the horns, and then impale them with them and slam them back into the ground, kind of like Kelly's idea for a Dimitri with a spear.
Yeah.
That could be something. And I could see him just being more brutal than Captain Falcon.
Oh, absolutely.
His whole character is just not caring about shit. So he can stomp opponents into the ground quite literally. So there's ways that you can give him new melee attacks for standards too if you wanted to differentiate him further. Just make it brutal, and it would work.
I mean, speaking of, I'm looking more at my Black Shadow submission here, and the down special I have as Bull Charge. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
as the opposite of Falcon Kick, instead he literally charges forward with his head down like a goddamn bull, and if he connects with the player, he headbutts them up and launches them into the air with his horns. But if you use it while you're already in the air, Black Shadow will instead dive straight down, attempting to spear any players in the path on his horns.
Wow. So there's actually quite a bit that could be differentiated between Black Shadow and Captain Falcon.
Oh, absolutely.
And
It's more like what I have here is similar themes to what Captain Falcon's moveset is, but flavored, like a charging bull.
yeah, I like it. And is he going to have a voice actor similar to Meta Knight?
Why would he?
The Run of the Bulls.
I don't know what the fuck you're referring to.
Well, we'll go over it later. It's a regional history. So I don't know. That's pretty convincing for Black Shadow. I quite like the idea of having that sort of different spin on Captain Falcon's moveset and actually being quite a bit different from Captain Falcon ultimately, or at least being able to. If he were incorporated in Smash purely with Ganondorf's moveset per even melee, just for the sake of having Ganondorf be differentiated finally, that would be more than fine by me too.
But the more unique, the better as well, and that's for any character.
Agreed. Oh yeah, of course. And then Alph. I mean, Alph is just Pikmin doesn't need a second character, not necessarily, but I think it's a series that is more in the limelight than F Zero is now. So maybe there's just that quality of where if you want to keep it as a factor, it's like, oh, maybe it deserves it more, that sort of thing.
The
Um,
question of deserve is always a sticky one whenever it comes to franchises and characters in Smash. But I can say
mhm.
that if Pikmin ever were to get a second character, Alph at this point in time is the logical choice. If Pikmin 4 comes
Same.
out and it stars Olimar and Louie again, and the three characters from Pikmin 3 are nowhere to be seen, then I think Louie
Hmm.
takes that position back again. But right now,
Yeah.
Alph is the next best choice. It's just a matter of can you make Alph interesting and different from Olimar at the same time?
Right.
And I
Right.
personally have a harder time with that than I do with Black Shadow. Not because there's not more that he could do, but because at the very least, look at the special moves here, which is what a lot of people tend to use when saying if a character is a semi-clone or an echo or whatever. It's not just special moves, but that's what the majority of people tend to look at. And if you look at
Hmm.
them, you have your standard move of okay, pick Pikmin from the ground. Your side is throwing it. Your up is well, it was either a Pikmin chain or it was flying up between Pikmin, and the down was calling any Pikmin back to you that had gotten separated from you for some fashion. And with
Hmm.
exception to the up special, I don't know what to change there because it feels like the standard, the side, and the down all need to stay. I
You know what you can do? No, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I didn't know what I was going to say because I can't think of anything to change those three moves, but to
Yeah.
keep the idea of a captain commanding Pikmin in there. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have an idea. It's if what if you got Alf really angry and turned him into punished Alf, and he had just his face just becomes totally red, and he becomes brutal like Black Shadow, and that's the opposite between Alf and Olimar is that Alf has this very angry disposition compared to Olimar's more studious nature, and so Alf just has the Pikmin out and throws them and moves them around like there's no tomorrow and doesn't care for their safety, and he turns them into a chain and makes it into a whip like Simon Belmont's, and they keep on dying, and he keeps on replacing them every time that he uses the whip, without any folly, without any forethought whatsoever, and he just fights without abandon.
I know you're referencing something when you say Alf punished or a punished Alf, whatever the hell, but I have no idea what you're referencing. And so that
I don't
entire
know.
thing is lost on me as you just being an utter buffoon, like usual.
And what if he like could turn the
Oh
Pikmin
dear
into
God.
a bazooka?
But I left my
What if the
bazooka
Pik?
at home.
What if the
Thanks, Toad.
Pikmin?
Thanks.
What if the Pikmin turned into a body shield around Alph to try and protect him from himself?
Again, that's already Toad.
Okay, okay. Well, I guess I think I know where to put my vote.
Yeah, it's on me finding a new co-host.
Okay, who's it gonna be? The winner of the Smasher Dash?
It's gonna be Kelly.
Eh, she's a nice lady, and I'm happy to work with her, but I don't know what she
Call
knows about Smash
me.
Brothers. James Comey.
What? I said call me. What the fuck? Clean
Well,
out your goddamn ears. I
I
know
choose
there's no Q-tips right now in stores, but fuck's sake, dude, wash your damn hands.
I choose
Black Shadow.
I do the shall we count
I
down?
already said my vote. It's Black Shadow.
I
It's
choose
not even a question.
Black Shadow.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do, and yes, we can. Thank you for believing in this campaign.
Why am I still here? All right, well, there was a lot of nonsense involved there. That's the first of our Smash or Dash pairings for this episode. Black Shadow reigns supreme over Alph. I mean, both
Hmm.
characters. What it really boiled down to is, well, both of them are easy bets for Echoes. One of them can be made a lot more interesting than the other and be a lot more unique than their uh, base character.
Yeah.
Alph, I mean, you have more personality than Black Shadow, probably. You definitely do
Hmm.
more in your game, but there's just not much that we can really do with you in Smash to make you different enough from Olimar while at the same time keeping the Pikmin elements as part of your moveset. It's just it's just not there.
Yeah. It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
Same. So that'll bring us
Which
to
is
our second.
surprising.
What? You think that's
Oh,
surprising?
I no, not really. I'm a mild champion elf, more so just because of the injustice that he's already been served in Smash.
Fair.
But at the same time, I don't feel passionate enough about the character or the moveset to support him. Black Shadow, while just kind of a walking trope, is far more interesting a character design and far more interesting with the possibility of his moveset, as well as the justification of including him even if he were a straight clone for the sake of Ganondorf. There's so many different ways to go there with Black Shadow, as opposed to something that seems pretty pedestrian with Alph.
It's true.
Now we could easily get both in the next Smash, and I'd be fine with that. But for the sake of this, Black Shadow it is.
Welcome to Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Alph,
Thank
get
you.
dashed.
Eh,
Eh.
there we go. We kicked him out. There you go. So
Be proud.
yeah, so onto our round two, the main event where we are not gonna meander as much as with the first one. That's probably my fault.
It's always your fault.
Okay.
Christ. So
Grassy.
so for this one, we were thinking, okay, we want to talk about some Pokemon. A lot of people want to have a
Mm-hmm.
grass starter. I mean, we've got not counting the Pokemon trainer because it's got three Pokemon in one there, so it's kind of its own separate thing. We've got Incineroar and we've got oh, I guess just Incineroar now. We just have Incineroar as a fire type starter in Smash. We've got Greninja as a water type starter. Where's our grass starter? People want
Yeah,
one.
that's a good question.
But
We've
the
gotten
harder
one
question is
too.
who? Because I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest, There's a lot less grass starters that I think would fit well into Smash than fire or water types. The fighters from water
Yeah,
types, I can more easily see the majority of them working in Smash. Some of them, maybe not. Imbor, that one's a little rough. Primarina, I don't know about that. I don't think it'd work
Darmanitan.
too well. Darmanitan is not a starter, but I would love to see Darmanitan be playable in a fighting game. Please, he's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided between the two of us to narrow down the now 8 grass type starter Pokemon into just 3 for today's discussion. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
there's some people that are saying, well, what about this one? Why not them? I think it should be them. You're welcome to think that, and I would love to see your argument in a comment, either on our Facebook page, our Discord, YouTube channel, or wherever else you can leave a comment. Please give us your argument. I'd love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the 3 we decided to discuss are Serperior from Generation 5's Unova region, Decidueye from Generation 7's Alolan region, and
Mm-hmm.
Rillaboom from Generation 8's Galar region.
Rillaboom. That that,
Rillaboom!
that just flows right off the tongue.
It's a good name.
It is.
Honestly, all 3 of those are pretty good names. Most of the stars, I think, have good names.
I agree.
And
I
then there's
agree.
the Wacky. The Wacky. Fucking really. Also, one of the
Oh,
worst mid tier starter designs, period. Holy shit. It's bad.
I agree. It's basically just
They
a
stretched Grookey's.
tall.
They
Yeah.
stretched his torso, and then gave him a second stick.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're evolved. Fucking
Congratulations,
hell.
you've hit adolescence.
I
So, yeah, what's funny about this is my history with Pokemon has kind of waned over the years. Like, you are by far the Pokemon encyclopedia between the two of us, and who's more passionate and kept up with the series.
played every
I
generation,
actually,
yes.
exactly, exactly. I've played up to a certain point, but I actually fell off. Not because Pokemon is uninteresting to me, but because kind of like how I treated Animal Crossing for a long time before I'm finally getting back into it with New Horizons. It's just the same formula. You know what to expect. It's very reliable in that sense, but you can also just feel a little samey. And then right around the time Generation 5 came in, Black and White, kind of divisive entries in the series, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah,
Uh, yeah,
for
so
multiple
like
reasons.
for Jake, like that, he's like, Black and White were my favorite. For me, I'm like, Black and White were so bizarre that they kept me away from the rest of the series and I just became disinterested.
It
But
took me over 2 years to finish Black and White. Probably longer than that.
yeah, I remember now. The last Pokemon games I had were X and Y. I just couldn't commit to it
X and
after.
Y wasn't great.
Yeah, yeah,
It was just bare
just
bones,
having
it felt like. Like, great,
agreed.
awesome. We love the 3D renderings that you've done. This looks cool. I don't know why we
Hmm.
had to have Whisper with a butthole, but hey, whatever. But the characters in the world just felt so empty and barren.
Hmm. It's it's just for the sake of them first being in 3D. They thought that would be enough. Um, but yeah, just having that triple whammy, pretty much black and white, black two and white two, X and Y. I was like, holy moly, we've obviously hit a rut.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Sun and Moon became kind of a champion of revival, and then Sword and Shield are a little bit more controversial than that. But more or less, Generation 5 was the last Pokemon series generation that I remember, and that's
I
why
think
I will
generally
go
most
ahead.
people would say that Gen 5 was the last really great generation. We got a lot of stuff in Gen 5.
That's also true. That's
Like
also true.
while black and white games were controversial for multiple reasons, you could tell they still put in a lot of effort. I can't say that about Gen 8.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
of course. I mean, the deck scandal and all, for starters. But that's a whole other soapbox for a whole other time.
Ooh, this is not a
Pretty
Pokemon
much.
podcast.
No, it's a podcast about Pokemon. There's a difference. Um,
Yes.
so Superior was the last fully evolved starter Pokemon that I ever remember committing to and having. And Superior has a pretty cool design. The whole idea of having this kind of snide Pokemon, like Snivy, evolve into royalty over time. That's pretty entertaining.
It is.
Um, and the design is cool. What I enjoy about Superior as opposed to Decidueye and Rillaboom, I'll say forthrightly, is the design of Superior. It does not have limbs.
I mean,
It doesn't
actually,
have
that's not
limbs.
true. That is not true. Superior
Really?
does have limbs. They're just super, super tiny, thin, flimsy arms.
Are those what those leaves are?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
That
those
is
are its
hilarious.
limbs. I kid you
Nice.
not.
I've never ever noticed that.
Uh huh.
Nice. Wonderful.
They're pretty shit. Not gonna
Well, doesn't
lie.
that make it even better?
Well,
No wonder we've chosen this reptilian Pokemon over Sceptile.
I mean, I think when I'm assuming you're referring to how would it hold items?
Yeah, I
Tail.
guess. Yeah, I concur. No, I actually was giving it a plus for being so snake-like because they could have easily gone further with Superior's design, made those limbs longer, and been like, what the hell is this?
Tentacles.
So, oh boy, the tentacle Pokemon. I think we already had one of those too.
We have several of them.
Nice. Uh,
I would not call
let's
them
see. So,
nice.
Tangela for Smash. We're done. So yeah, Superior. To my knowledge, there also wasn't a very high anime appearance for Superior, but nonetheless, you have a number of grass moves that could be incorporated into its moveset that I think would be interesting to see coming from this sort of physique and from this sort of character that is a Pokemon that's known for being so royal and gallant that just to stare from it would be enough to halt opponents in their tracks. I think there's something you can do with that there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
I mean, and it would have a
before we
very unique body that you can use in fighting. It's gonna have a unique style and how it moves, it jumps, gets around.
Mhm.
It's got unique potential.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we get too into that, I guess that I'll leave it to the boy who's actually played the games past Gen 5 to dish out for Decidueye and Rillaboom.
Hmm. So before I get into them, I do want to go ahead and mention that something that I always find funny about whenever Pokemon games are first going to their hype cycle and they're showing us the new designs. We see the first forms of the starters, and people are just like, "Oh, I like this one, I like that one." And when the starters for Gen 5 were first revealed, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm Team Snivy." Holy shit. Before we even know his name, people were calling him Smugleaf. And I still wish that
Oh
was its
yeah,
name. And that
yep.
was a brilliant name. Truly amazing. And I thought
Hmm.
Oshawott design was too crowded. Like there was just too much
Hmm.
going on there. When I later learned that he could take the shell off of his body and use it like a weapon, I was like, okay, I like that. That makes your
Yeah.
design a lot better. And then
Hmm.
Tepig is all right, but then we saw
Yeah.
Tepig's evolutions. It's just like, oh, God, no, no. And then when we get to those final evolutions, people are just like, okay, so I thought I liked this one. I don't anymore. And when we saw those final designs, I was like, all right, I'm Team Oshawott now. Sorry,
Yeah.
Snivy. But Oshawott's Evo family is better than yours. For one thing, it doesn't have to deal with Servine. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
while Superior is okay, I've always liked Samurott better.
Yep.
I
But
just
this
do.
ain't that song, and this ain't that band.
I don't know what that means, but
Those.
I assume you're saying that we're not discussing the three Union starters against each other, so I should move the fuck on.
Mhm. Maybe. Yep.
Duly
Although
noted.
I do welcome Poplio to the discussion.
I do not welcome popular discussion, who is my least favorite starter in all of Pokemon. It has got a terrible design. Brion is even worse. Primarina, okay, sure, not bad, but I just still get through Poplio and Brion first. Ugh, my
Now, would you
eyes.
rather have Brienne playable in Smash, or would you rather have Brienne of Tarth playable in
Brion
Smash?
of Tarth.
Okay, easy go, right?
Easy go.
Okay, onwards.
So, moving on to our next grass type starter. We have Decidueye here from Generation 7, which is the same games that Incineroar comes from. And we were kind of debating, do we want to even consider Decidueye since Incineroar is already representing Generation 7? And what we
Hmm.
basically came down to was, fuck it. It's our podcast. We do what we want. Plus, who's to say that Incineroar is going to be in the next Smash game? We don't
That's
know.
also true. In a better tomorrow.
Are you going to let me get through my thing or not? That's what I
You
fucking
can
thought,
get to
bitch.
your thing whenever you want.
So, Decidueye is a quite unique that it is grass and ghost typing, which while it's not the first grass ghost Pokemon, it's not even the only one in Gen 7. Hi, Delmies. But it's the first starter to have ghost as a secondary typing. We all know
Hmm.
that Pokemon starters are always grass, fire, and water, but sometimes those secondary typings are interesting. Empoleon, Water
Yeah.
Steel, did not see that coming. The Decidueye
Hmm.
becoming Grass Ghost, didn't see it coming. The starting form was Grass Flying, and everybody seemed like, oh, okay, it's fine. It's going to become a Grass Flying Owl in the end. That's what it'll be like. Nope.
Hmm.
They shocked us all. And it's quite interesting because of that, because having the Ghost typing, there's a lot of different moves that now it can use and could potentially have in Smash. Astonish, uh,
Hmm.
Shadow Sneak. It's got its own signature move, that Spirit Shackle, which is essentially its fires an arrow from its feathers. Because yeah, this fucking thing fires arrows that are its own feathers from its wing, like a goddamn arrow. It's from like a bow. It's a great design. I love it. They turned Robin Hood into an owl and made him into a Pokemon. What? Also, they apparently killed him because he's a ghost, but whatever. And that one move itself, Spirit Shackle, can I think it locks down an opponent's move, if I remember correctly. No, it just stops them from fleeing or switching out. That's what it does, which is still an interesting effect, which no other
Yeah.
grass starter can do.
Hmm.
There's certain moves that pretty much all grass starters can do. Like you got your Razor Leaf, you got your Leaf Blade. Okay, they don't all hit the same ones, but they have the general themes of throw leaves, hit with vines, easy
Hmm.
bets. But the situation's got that little bit extra to him. Uh, I believe he's one of the I think he's actually the most popular design for the starters in Generation 7, just because of the fact that he's a badass owl. Whereas Incineroar does have his own popularity, because particularly among wrestling fans, because Incineroar is designed to look like a heel fighter. He is
Hmm.
the bad guy in the wrestling ring. He's gonna fight dirty. He's not. He will bite your ankle if he thinks it'll help him win. It's all a
Yeah.
show. And then there's Primarina, who's a mermaid, and I don't think can work in Smash. Uh, I'll give Serperior the nod, but Primarina, I just don't see it.
So, Incineroar is the bad guy, huh?
Yes,
Duh. All right.
I understand why Incineroar got into Smash, because
Hmm.
you can make an interesting wrestling moveset with that. But there's a lot of other characters that you could have made a wrestling moveset out of. Heihachi,
Yeah.
the Starman from Pro Wrestling, or any of the other
Hmm.
characters from that game, really.
Pico.
Pico, yeah.
Reggie.
Fizame, yes, of course.
And also the Reggie Pokemon.
What?
Yeah.
What are you
They
talking
could be
about?
wrestlers.
What Reggie Poke?
Like
Oh,
Registeel.
I gotcha. No,
Yep. Okay.
no,
Okay.
they
Oh,
could
you
not
thought
be
there was a
wrestlers.
Reggie Fils.
I'll try to figure out who you were saying was a Reggie Fils-Aimé Pokemon. Like,
Yep.
I'm sure there could have been something that you could have come up with an argument for. I just wasn't expecting Reggie Ice, Reggie Rock, Reggie Seal. I was
Yeah.
not expecting that's what you were going with.
Yeah.
God damn it. God fucking damn it.
Okay. Okay. So Superior Decidueye. I think there's a certain grassy Kong.
Yes, there is Rillaboom, which honestly looks a lot more basic than I thought it was going to be. Whatever rumors were coming out about what the Generation 8's Pokemon were going to be like, he literally
Hmm.
just looks like a gorilla with leaves on his back, and he carries around a wooden drum,
Yep.
and not the kind of drum that DK uses either.
Oh no, this is a
Oh
big
no,
like a taiko kind of thing.
I don't know what that means, but I'll trust your word on it because you're a music guy and I'm not. So Rillaboom, again, one of the three starters from the Galar region, and it's been the first time since Generation 2 that all three starters have been monotype. They're just straight
Yeah.
grass, water, fire, no additional typing. And in that respect, you could argue that, oh, so that means they have less that's to them, less that can be done. Hmm, sure, that's
Hmm.
technically true. But Rillaboom does have some interesting moves on its own. It's got drum beating. It literally beats out notes from its drum. It pokes you with
Hmm.
branches. It will roar. It'll punch you in the face with its massive fists. Again, it's got Razor Leaf. It's got the Wood Hammer move. Boom Burst. I mean, it will soon have a Gigantamax form where it doesn't have just a drum, but it has an entire drum set. Like
Hmm.
I don't know what all the different drums are called, but it's got like the one where you hit the pedal to bang the big drum in front of you. It's got the cymbals. It's got the whole damn thing.
Nice.
I don't know what a fucking
Yeah.
drum set has, man. Come on,
Hmm.
cut me a brain break
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But it's more than just real. I understand people call it, oh, it's Donkey Kong with leaves. You're not wrong,
Hmm.
but there is more to it than just that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like ultimately, they'd probably fight differently enough to where you can't say it totally straight that it's just Donkey Kong.
Right. Like, is it
Hmm.
my favorite grass starter? No,
No.
that would be actually Decidueye. But I don't think it's a bad design at all, and I think it's actually pretty cool that they did that.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm if anything's gonna get me to play Gen 8 at some point, it's gonna be the Magic Music Monkey.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Considering that the other two starters are Fire Bunny Soccer Star and Water Lizard Super Spy James Bond.
Yeah. I mean, kind of interesting, but hey, at the end
Honestly,
of the
I
day,
like
right?
Inteleon a lot. A lot of people hate
Yeah.
the how skinny it is, but I think it actually really works.
Oh, so do I. So do I. It fits the James Bond aesthetic for some reason. I can't quite place why. Actually, I can. It's kind of like a Pink Panther kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And also the finger guns remind me of our friend Kellen
Why?
because he always uses finger guns. But enough about that. I think it's about time that we finally get into pitting these Pokemon against us and against each other rather, and I guess also against us when we dash two of them.
Yeah, I don't want to fight them.
Okay, yeah, well that probably wouldn't turn out very well. Probably get a razor cut or something,
Or worse.
or worse, we might get wrung out.
Yes.
So that would not be good. Or hit with a magic stick, or
Vines.
ghosted by an owl. Yeah, all sorts of things. All sorts of things.
Earthquake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who can use earthquake? I assume Rillaboom.
Rillaboom.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I imagine that that would be like Rillaboom slamming on his drum and then causing an earthquake.
Probably, yeah. Slamming the drum
That
into
would
the ground.
be that would be cool. That would be cool. I can to Serperior. That I think the best thing that we have going for that again is the body type. You have this very snake-like Pokemon, despite the arms
Yeah.
that it has.
With a baby
um,
arms. Like Deadpool.
that makes yeah, exactly. Um, so now I have that image stuck in my head. Either which way, Superior's best thing is the body type.
Yeah.
So
So I
you can
think
have very snake-like attacks.
yeah. So some moves that I think would work well for Superior. You've got your Vine Whip, your Leaf Tornado, Leaf Blade will work very
Hmm.
well with that tail. Solar Beam, Leaf Storm would make a lot of sense. Brutal Swing, hell
Hmm.
yeah. Grass Knot,
Hmm.
I could kind of see. I mean, Razor Leaf, Magic Leaf, they're kind of the same deal. Twister, he literally just makes a tornado by spinning his tail around. And I mean,
Yeah,
all three grass stars have access to Frenzy Plant, so that one can be on any of them.
yeah. And then like grab could naturally be its grab can naturally be something like
The
coil,
tail, yeah,
and and
it
and
flaps
and
its tail
ringing
and
out can be yeah,
coils around you and brings you in closer. It's a
yeah.
natural choice.
That that would be pretty cool. Just picture the way that it moves. It's like having
Oh,
the
dude.
yeah,
The you know how when you grab an opponent, instead of throwing them right away, you can just punch them a little bit before throwing them.
yeah.
What if that was absorb?
Oh, hey, that works. and then you get a little bit back out of it too.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would actually give a reason to use grabs more often.
That's true. Theoretically, any of these grass Pokemon could do that,
Yeah, yeah. Except it wouldn't like look
but
quite as cool.
yeah, because it's wrapped around. You're wringing them out. That's like you're using like three different moves at the same time.
Yeah,
So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then of course there's also I'm looking here gastro acid. Surely we can use that.
probably.
and and again, its Leer is famous. I'm not sure how that could be invoked. I guess as a down special, but it seems a little uninspired ultimately.
Yeah. Also, Mewtwo kind of has that kind of deal.
Yeah, Leer could just be a taunt in Superior's case. 'Cause I think it's important to the character, but it doesn't have to be a move.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. And then no, there's a way to make it interesting, and I think that we've about found it.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's that. Decidueye. That comes a lot simpler. I feel like out of the three Pokemon we're talking about today, Decidueye is coming into this, honestly, in my opinion, probably with the being the probably the obvious choice. Only it has an awesome design, it has great typing, it uses its wings, it uses its feathers as bow and arrow. I mean, what on earth?
Mm-hmm.
So there's plenty to work with. A lot of different ghost type moves as you've already established, and it's just coming in here with the hope too, all that hopeful energy because we wanted Decidueye and not Incineroar to begin with, and speculated for years on end with most of the community. Oh
Yeah.
hey, Decidueye will probably be in Smash. Oh, never mind.
I think I think it's a fair statement to say that the majority of the speculation community thought that the Pokemon we were going to get for Smash was going to be Decidueye. There were some people
Mm-hmm.
that said Incineroar. There were some people saying Buzzwole because they want to make Swole jokes, which, come on, guys, Neolego is
Thank
their
God that
ultimate
didn't happen.
choice. Let's be honest here. I was
Mm-hmm.
personally, well, Decidueye was what I would love to have. Tapu Koko was my number one hope because I thought that'd be fucking badass.
Yeah,
Why are so
yeah.
many of the good choices electric types?
I don't know. And then there's a Alolan Raichu would have been good.
Yeah,
Niki Lego would have been good. So yeah,
but
yeah.
the I actually had
Or of
made a
course Mimikyu,
Decidueye.
your
Well, yes,
favorite.
I had of course made a Decidueye moveset in anticipation of the character getting to Smash, and I had come up
Mm-hmm.
with Spirit Shackle for the standard special, which kind of feels like the one that you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had Leaf Blade for the side special, where it comes in the form of a long sword made out of leaves, and
Nice.
if you can kind of do it like a similar in essence to Marth's Dancing Blade, where it's a combo attack that you can change by what directions you're hitting.
Mm-hmm.
His up special was Leaf Storm. Leaf Tornado just kind of like surrounds him and he rides it around in the air. It doesn't throw him up, but it's more like he's riding it through the air as it lifts him forwards.
Right.
Down special was a counter move in the form of Phantom Force, where he'll kind of like melt into his shadow and then strike back.
Oh man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Very nice.
Final Smash made a lot of sense to be his exclusive Z move, Sinister Arrow Raid, and it pretty much just looks exactly like the cinematic for that move in the games. And then the extra skill
Mm-hmm.
was Grass Knot, where he'll kick a small little knot of grass up, and if you run over it, you trip yourself and you take some damage.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty easy stuff.
And
There's other Pokemon moves that he could use. Razor Leaf would make a lot of sense.
mm-hmm.
Psycho Cut I think could actually be somewhat fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Claw, Brave Bird,
Mm-hmm.
Acrobatics, Hex, Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to do Sinister Arrow Raid, they could always do Bloom Doom, which was the generic grass type Z move in Sun and Moon. There's some interesting
Yeah.
stuff there. He's basically got
Nice.
grass moves, flying moves, and ghost moves.
Sweet shucky ducky. That's quite the ensemble. And what of our pal Rillaboom? I honestly know least about, so I think you should probably take the reins.
All right, I can go ahead and do that. So Rillaboom, I mean, in Smash, I honestly do see him being initially treated as like his character. If they're going to pick a character in Smash already to start building the data off of to build up Rillaboom, it is going to be Donkey Kong. There is no
Oh
doubt
yeah.
about that. But it's more
Mm-hmm.
what else can they do with him? he can smack you with his drum. Easy bet. Punch you with his fists. He could roar to give himself a stat boost with Noble Roar. One of Grookey has an exclusive move called Branch Poke, where he literally pokes you in the face with a fucking branch. That would be a fun little move that they could do. Woodhammer, maybe he slams the drum down on the ground even harder than usual, and like
Mm-hmm.
the vines kind of sprout up from that spot, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Boom Burst. It could come in the form of roar or in him drumming furiously on the drum and just sending out a shockwave of sonic waves,
Mm-hmm.
which I kind of feel like that should interrupt projectile attacks.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it'd be a cool thing to do there.
Yeah. Yeah, it would
Solar
be.
Beam coming out of the drum. Imagine how that would look.
Interesting, yeah.
Very interesting, actually. He could
Mm-hmm.
fire off bullet seeds. He could again use brutal swing or stomping tantrum, which would be seeing him either swing the drum around or I feel like stomping tantrum would be very similar to DK's hand slap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that just kind
Yeah,
of
I
makes
could see that.
sense. He could use
Mm-hmm.
earthquake, but I feel like let's not. I feel like his other moves are just a little bit more unique than what earthquake would be. Because again,
True.
earthquake is really
True.
just going to be the equivalent of hand slap again, which meh.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
could hyper voice, shriek. He could fire off energy ball, leaf storm. That was weird.
Interesting. I
He's
mean,
got frenzy plant again, like all the finally evolved grass starters can. And then Generation 8 also has the Dynamaxing, and soon Rillaboom will have his Gigantamax form. So he could
mm-hmm.
do either Max Overgrowth, which is the generic grass type Dynamax move, or whatever his exclusive move will be when he gets his Gigantamax form when the DLC campaign comes out.
True. True. So there's a fair
Pause
bit
here.
going for Rillaboom as well. So Rillaboom really is just kind of a big old magical ape. In those regards, I guess we can relate to it.
No, I mean, it would not be false to say that he is Donkey Kong with leaves and a drum. It's factual, but I do think he can be made more interesting than just that. Especially
Mm-hmm.
because, let's be real, Donkey Kong's moveset in Smash isn't as inspired as it could be.
Oh yeah,
It's not
as most of
bad.
the original characters suffer from too.
Yeah. Says Samus being one
Mm-hmm.
of the worst. It wasn't really until Brawl, and especially Smash 4, when they started looking at, hey, this character, they should really have this huge aspect to them. Let's try making them as accurate to their games as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Melee, Smash 64, didn't necessarily have that. Some characters
Yeah.
are fine.
Yeah.
Mario, great.
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu, with the exception of Soul Bash, which does not exist for him, great. Kirby, I think, is fucking fantastic. But then you
mm-hmm.
have Samus and Donkey Kong, and it's like, you could use a touch up.
Yep. And then you go a little further, Chic, this and that, this and that.
Ganondorf,
Yeah.
the
They can
space
make Zelda
animals.
just not suck too.
I do. She does have a good moveset, though, in concept.
Yeah, yeah. Tier wise, I'm mostly meaning, but
Okay.
yeah. Nonetheless, soapbox over there. Yeah, Rillaboom's cool one. I'm kind of into the whole magic of music thing going on. I think there's some sort of element of Japanese mythology, mythos, mysticism involved in the idea of this magic taiko drum. So I do enjoy that call to naturalism, which is a big part of the culture that Rillaboom originates from being designed with. That's an interesting aspect for the character that I think summoning plants and whatnot from out of the beat of the music. Cool. But let's see. So that's basically our run through. We have Magic Monkey, also Donkey Kong with grass. We have the grass ghost rather, who basically should have been in Ultimate per our opinion anyway.
Yeah.
And we have the kind of the underdog Gen 5 snake Pokemon without any reasonable limbs.
I mean, unless you're kind of
So
tail a limb.
I guess so. We need to have some sort of census where we ask people if they consider their tails limbs.
Hey, do you consider your tail a limb?
Yes.
You have a tail?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show. In the meantime, gosh. It's kind of difficult. I would be more than happy to see either of these characters in Smash. I'd be happy to see all three of them, although also confused.
I would not want to see all three of them because I'd be like, all right, your course correcting a little too much here.
Yeah, because then we would suddenly have a lack of water Pokemon, and then we'd have a lack of just Pokemon that aren't starters.
And then we have a lack of characters that aren't Pokemon. Is there too much Pokemon in Smash?
I would like to name my Pokemon Walhart.
For fuck's sake.
Yep. No, for folk's sake is the blog that I write for.
No.
Yep.
No, that festival got
Yep.
canceled.
The festival did, but not for folk's sake, which
We'll
is a
see about
British
that.
based blog at which I'm the North American editor. Yeah, feel free to write a letter to your union.
I will.
Okay, good. Oh man. This is a
So,
difficult decision for me.
yeah, it really is. I mean, I feel like all three of these characters have potential, and
Hmm.
in different ways. I would love to have either one of them. There's pros and cons to both. Like for Superior, pro wise, very unique body shape. People talk about how they want to have more characters that aren't just bipedal. They specifically generally mean more quadrupeds like Ivysaur or Duck Hunt, but Superior would fit that bill as well, and I think that'd be really cool. But attack
Hmm.
wise, it's kind of a little bit less exciting for me, I think.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's kind of where it comes on Superior. Decidueye, hey, one of the few grass starters that's not huge ass and bulky. Look at
Hmm.
Venusaur, okay? Meganium,
Hmm.
Sceptile, Torterra, Serperior, Chestnut, Decidueye,
Rillaboom.
Rillaboom. The vast majority of them are these big, massive, hulking monstrosities. Decidueye is, unless you count
Yeah.
Superior, is really the only one that's not a big, bulky
Hmm.
monster. So in that respect, I
Hmm.
love the idea of Decidueye, and he would be well. The arrow, while having an arrow attack is starting to become fairly common with the various links, the pits, and Byleth.
Hmm.
I feel like the Decidueye would still be okay because it's got all these other moves that it can do as well. The only thing that really hurts me with Decidueye is we've already got Incineroar, and unless we lose Incineroar in the next game, it would feel really weird to me to have two starters from the same generation.
Would it be as weird as having Crom, Lucina, and Robin?
No. Wait, I meant, let me say that. I answered that wrong. Yes, it would be more weird than that. Because
Yeah. Yeah.
Fire Emblem, well, yeah, they could do a better job of spreading out their characters. It's different than saying, oh, hey, look, we have two of the three starters from this generation, but not the third one. And the other problem with
Yeah.
that is, hey, look, there's 8 generations of Pokemon. We've got several of them from Generation 1. We got one from Gen 2. Nothing from 3. We have a non-starter from 4. Nothing from 5. We have a starter from 6. Nothing. Oh, and now a starter from 7. And currently nothing from 8. To have two starters from 7 would just feel wrong.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
if Incineroar is gone in the next one, then I'm good to say Decidueye. But we
Oh
don't
yeah.
really know that. It's
Hmm.
impossible to predict.
Yeah.
Rillaboom, its con is it's going to be compared to Donkey Kong. There is no denying that. It's going to happen. It's going to be, hey, can they make him different enough from Donkey Kong? But pro
Hmm.
wise, that drum is actually really interesting to me. And
Yeah.
seeing
Me
what they can,
too.
I feel like it would be the primary component in a lot of his attacks.
Agreed. Absolutely, because it's really what differentiates him from any other character.
Like even if one of his moves is Solar Beam, I feel like that beam's gonna come out of the drum.
Oh, agreed. And that's an interesting aesthetic I hadn't previously thought of at all.
Plus,
Hmm.
Gigantamax as a final smash would be really cool looking.
Agreed. Agreed. So, man, interesting way of approaching it. And do you think that the way that Rillaboom moves about would be compromised by the drum, or do you think we'd ultimately be? I figure Rillaboom can carry it like a boombox kind of on its shoulder or over its
I
back.
believe in Pokemon, it's actually said that it carries the drum on its back. Like it just kind of like it
Okay.
stays there somehow. I'm not really sure how, but it does, and it just pulls it off
Hmm.
of there whenever it wants to use it. But
Okay.
now that you mentioned the whole boombox things, I do think that could be part of its maybe one of its idle animations or a taunt.
Oh
That could
yeah.
be interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would be okay with that.
But I also would not be surprised if in Smash either they have it just like rest on his back when he's moving around, or if it just isn't seen and then he just pulls it out of hammer space whenever he's ready to use it, like Link does
Yeah,
with his
that's
boomerangs or any other character in existence.
that's true. That's true too. Huh. Goodness gracious. There's a at the end of the day there's still three great choices. I wouldn't okay. I wouldn't be mad if any of them were in Smash
I wouldn't either.
ultimately. Um I feel like I have my preference, but I'm actually still a little uncertain.
I'm
Just
very
in general.
torn between two. It's rough.
As am I. As am I. As am I. Actually, I'm torn between all three, but I think I can. I think you and I may be on the same page about who we can eliminate.
Shall
Do
we
you think that we
reveal
should
that?
go that way first?
I mean,
Yeah, we
honestly, I
can.
feel
We
like
can
it's a
do
good idea for any time we have more than two. Is
that.
after we go through the initial discussion, let's see. Okay, what's the weaker option? Drop that, and then we focus on the last two.
Agreed. And okay, you want to just do a countdown or just drop it?
I think we just drop it.
Okay, Superior.
Serperior.
Yeah,
I mean,
I went
it would
into
be
this
cool. It'd be
thinking
unique, but of the three, I feel like it's less interesting.
agreed, and I went into this knowing that, and I was like, let's really champion this and see if there's a way to make it more interesting. And just
We almost
because
did.
we almost did, yeah, but just from having just from having it be a snake and not really having many other options for a playable snake, and Snake the human being doesn't count, it's there
Yeah.
and it would be cool, but that's also all there is to it. Meanwhile, you have a character that is very hyped from Pokemon, probably the most beloved grass starter of them all, who people arguably really wanted in Smash Ultimate, uh, along with all those ghost type moves, versus a character that with a giant ass drum that would make him really stand out, and representing more of the current Pokemon era with Gigantamax forms. So that's what we have to choose from for our top two in this last round of Smasher Dash today.
Yeah. And I
And
keep going back and forth between which one I prefer better of between Decidueye and Rillaboom. And I'm coming with multiple arguments in my head about like, well, it's you should do Decidueye because of this, or you should do Rillaboom because of this. Don't do Decidueye because of this. Don't do Rillaboom because of this. I'm just like, fuck, man. They're both really
yeah,
good choices. I'm having to come up with
hmm
constant arguments. It's like, can we just, where is our third guest that can help us out here? God damn it. Where's Stranger
agreed. I mean,
Eric?
I know
Shit.
who knew that we would ever be asking for them so yearningly, but it's true. It's a great final two to choose between, which is really saying something because back in the day, I think even just a couple months ago, or actually going into this podcast, I said it. Decidueye was the favorite to win. But you've convinced me that there's a lot to pull from for Rillaboom too,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been a little bit fond of the Grookey line as well. So it is difficult. It is difficult, and as far as the uniqueness goes, you have a whole other subset of ghost type moves you can pull from for Decidueye too that were, as you said, unexpected during its reveal. Um, and then Rillaboom is a straight grass type, but then you have the drum, and the drum introduces all manner of ways to present those grass type moves. And so, in the scope of Smash, they may all be grass type, but they're coming out of a drum. It's going to be real different. So, wow,
I think I have
wow.
my lean.
I have a lean as well. Shall we do it?
I would like to take the time to discuss mine first, if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay. And I will also say, like, as far as I go, I've just gotten to the point where I'm going to be meandering if I try to explain more.
Yes, I know how you
So
are.
as for you,
So I mentioned before that part of what I was trying to come up to terms with in my mind was, hey, we've already got Incineroar. Having two starters from the Alolan games would be weird. But also
Hmm.
at the height of the episode when we were talking about the three Pokemon we chose, we were just like, who cares if Incineroar is in? He might not be the next game. So I feel like I'm kind of contradicting myself with that.
Hmm.
With Rillaboom, I'm also looking at, hey, Gym 8's the new thing. It makes sense to put in the new thing. But honestly, that's not a good argument I should be looking at for either one of these two. It should be looking
Hmm.
at who they are as characters and what they can do. And when I'm doing that, I'm leaning to Decidueye, and a large part of that is how we can move. Not necessarily because Rillaboom would just be Gorilla, but with Decidueye we have not just somebody who's going to be sniping arrows and has ghost type attacks and flying type attacks, but look at those talons. I'm looking at the talons and it's just like, you can do some fun stuff with that. Probably
Hmm.
mainly with aerial moves, maybe a side smash or a down smash. But we have an owl type Pokemon, owl type. We have an owl based Pokemon that
Hmm.
sure it looks and it can move around like your standard archer, but you can also put some really interesting takes into its move sets and movements and how it just animates itself by looking at how an owl moves and how it uses its talons when it's say flying over a forest to grab a mouse off the ground to eat and reaching out with its talons like that. I think there's something really cool that you can do there.
Hmm.
Whereas Rillaboom, well, not to
Absolutely.
knock on him, but he is a gorilla. We've
Yeah.
seen how a gorilla moves. Do we have birds playable in Smash? Yes. But does Falco really count? You don't
Falco
move
pretty
like a
much is a
bird.
human with a bird head.
Yeah. And the duck part of Duck Hunt doesn't really count either.
No,
So
no, not
that's
really.
that's kind of where I stand on Decidueye. I can be convinced, but at the moment, that's where I sit.
No, I mean with Rillaboom, as you see, there's the greatest asset that Rillaboom has is the drum. There's so many ways you can use that drum. It's a big drum. I mean, I can imagine Rillaboom jumping on the drum and using that kind of canvas space to be able to jump into the air as an up special, or potentially,
Boom Burst
or
launches it into the air.
Boomburst launches it into the air. Rillaboom fly through sky. See, sound waves coming from the drum, as you say, is another operative for Boomburst, either as an up special or side. It could do, I don't know. You could probably do a lot with just beating the drum and pressing the B button or the standard special button, and having the drum operate in different ways to uh, increase the intensity or the rhythm or the type of sonic wave that's coming out of the drum. So that could be interesting.
Yeah,
Uh, Branch poke would be hilarious, and that's about that. Uh, Wooden hammer. You use one of you can use both of the drumsticks, or rather the massive clubs, to just slam down on opponents, or use the whole drum and slam it down, or maybe those could be two different types of intensities.
yeah,
Uh, I other than that though, I mean, there's just brute force of it being a giant ape with something like Mega Punch or Mega Kick, or using Solar Beam through the drum. So all of that is interesting. And then having the what max growth you said as a final
Max
smash,
Overgrowth is the
max
grass
overgrowth.
type max move.
Yeah,
We know he'll
like that
get
would
his
be
own exclusive Gigantamax move, but unless I'm mistaken, uh, with exception to a few Pokemon like the Pikachu's, the exclusive Gigantamax moves have the same animation as the regular Max moves. Just they come with an extra property to them.
right, right. Okay, got it. And you know another way Boom Burst can work too. You can do a drum roll as you hold down the special button,
Mm-hmm.
and as it's released, then the sonic boom is released further. That could be fun. Um, I don't know. I mean, what other grass moves can it possibly learn? Like Leaf Tornado or something
Giga
that could be
Drain,
as
Energy Ball,
Giga Drain, Energy Ball. Yeah, Giga Drain could be interesting if you do it in the form of beating
Solar
the drum.
Blade,
And yeah, that would be
Magical
interesting.
Leaf.
Yep, yep. Yeah, it's a drummer, so there's a lot of magical leaves going.
Yeah,
um, No, so it's interesting. But having not played Gen 8, and that's pretty much it that I can tell. Um, Otherwise, that's it. I mean, I guess he could use his drumsticks as boomerangs or something. That's as far as I can go with just on the fly moveset guessing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It's cool, and that's that. I guess. You're leaning to Decidueye, correct?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Huh.
I can be convinced,
And
but that's where my lean is.
yeah, well, again, I don't really have much else to convince you of. I think Rillaboom's laid out on the table. So it's one or the other, and for me, it's just deciding between the two because whoever wins is going to be for me in my head. It's a very small percentage difference, not being as attached to these Pokemon as you, having not played the games. Uh, I choose. I choose Decidueye.
Interesting. I thought you were going to go for Rillaboom and try to put a tie in there.
I was, but when you really reason about, I have a lean of a personal bias because I was trying to stump for Rillaboom being a musical Pokemon and me being the music guy. It would have made sense. It would have been entertaining. But at the end of the day, the hype for Decidueye and the different types of moves that you can pull in that are different than anything else, and just the differences, period. Because Rillaboom, there's always that tiny little shadow Donkey Kong to consider. Decidueye, there really just is not anything like it. Arrows be damned, because I just don't consider that to be that much of a deal. So just having that more lith character, it would represent something that ultimately in Smash and the scope of Smash,
Mm-hmm.
I think Decidueye would be more unique overall.
That's fair.
Yeah. So Rillaboom though, that was a hard loss. I almost was going to go for it.
Me too.
Yeah, and that's surprising because I thought that we were going to just give Decidueye an easy win, but it was a hard win. It
Yeah.
was still a win, but I feel a little bad for Rillaboom.
Honestly, what a large part of what made me back off of Rillaboom was when I was realizing I shouldn't be thinking about Incineroar when I'm looking at this. I should be looking at this purely between these characters. What generation they're from, that doesn't matter for how we set up Smasher Dashes.
Yeah,
It's
I mean it could.
compare this character to this other character, not, hey, compare the representation against this other representation. I mean, technically
Yeah,
speaking, we can make whatever argument we want. We could say, hey, put a Fire Emblem character against a another Earthbound character and say, hey, I don't have this character from Earthbound because we have too many Fire Emblem. You can make that argument. But
yeah,
in this instance, it just didn't feel right.
agree because it's not really about realism. It's about what.
Yeah.
So in this case, we're aligned on a very loose alliance with the Decidueye. Uh, I will say though, if Decidueye and Rillaboom were both in, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
That
Well,
would be good.
I would care because that's too much for me.
Yeah, but I mean, we have Incineroar and Charizard. At least,
But,
at least to
but,
me, this
but,
this duo would be
Charizard is
better than
part of
that.
the Pokemon trainer, so it's different. That's something that I think a
Also
lot of
true.
people forget. And when they were talking about Pokemon and the starter trios, is they're saying, yeah, we have two fire type starters, but if you're going to make that argument, you would say also we have two water type starters because we have fucking Squirtle. We have Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard all part of one moveset. Now, if the
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Trainer
Mm-hmm.
mechanic was dropped again, and we had Charizard in Incineroar and then Greninja and still no Grass starter in the next game, then yeah, that's a little fucking weird. But Charizard, for me, honestly, he doesn't come into the equation. In Smash 4, he did because we didn't have Squirtle or Ivysaur anymore. We only had Charizard and Greninja, so it made sense to
Mm-hmm.
think about a Grass starter. But with the
Oh
Pokemon
man,
Trainer mechanic back, I don't give a fuck about Charizard and his place in the starter trio. He's not part of it. It's Incineroar, Greninja, and then whoever Grass starter would be.
don't you miss Rock Smash though?
Honestly, I liked Rock Smash as a move, so yes.
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining.
It wasn't a bad move. I enjoyed it. Was it the best
It was
move
pretty
for
much
competitive players? No. Am I a competitive player? No.
no, neither am I. So yeah, I enjoyed smashing rocks. Too bad. Well, Decidueye wins.
Decidueye wins.
We'll see you next time, Rillaboom. And as for Superior, yeah, you're a part of the conversation.
You were.
So, in conclusion, Black Shadow and Decidueye are the winners of this Smasher Dash episode. Cheers!
Congratulations. You have
And
done
may
what
the
your other
black
friends could not.
exactly, and may the black bowl forever ride.
On Decidueye?
Decidueye will carry it with its talons. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think it's time to wrap things up. Hey, do you know what our next episode is?
Yeah, episode 16 of Supercast Brothers is going to be an on-topic episode back to the start of the cycle. Our sixth, the kickoff of our sixth cycle, if you're that interested. It's going to be a discussion, an open discussion on amiibos and Smash, the functionality, how they currently work in Super Smash Brothers, where we hope to take it, and our views on the functionality of amiibo, kind of where we are with all of the amiibos that have come out and that are yet to come, like all the DLC amiibos. So that'll be fun, right?
I think so.
I think so too. So it'll be interesting. In the meantime, without any further ado, unless you have some final words, I guess we can let the people go.
Friends, countrymen, good night.
Good night, and remember, Azurta fly through sky.